Welcome to Dark Psychology World Channel. What we bring is the 38 letters from J.D. Rockefeller to his son, perspectives, ideology, and wisdom. Letter 19, people should constantly improve themselves. Dear John, I've been coughing these days. My health is getting worse day by day. I know my days are numbered. I've lived long enough. God will call me back one day. Fortunately, I can in my lifetime. I saw you inherit my career with my own eyes and run the company so well. John is doing well in the company. As the scale continues to expand, pay more attention to the management within the company organization and external market trends. A business, especially on a scale like ours, such a huge enterprise, there must be an orderly management system, and there must also be a clear and intelligent brain to execute. I used to pay attention to my words and deeds all the time. Behavior with subordinates. Every morning at 9:15, I must arrive at the company on time. And I think, even if it is to match the company image, everyone must also dress well. Instruments neat and tidy. At least that's what I do. I give every office suite. A set of shoe polishing tools are provided free of charge. Every morning, ask my hairdresser to come and give me sleep on time. Speaking of time concept, first of all, I will never be late. Because no one has the right to take up other people's time needlessly. Secondly, I like to set a schedule. Do things according to the schedule and plan. I never waste time on trivial matters. I will take a regular break every day. Stop for some cookies around 10 o'clock. Drink some milk. Take a nap after lunch. Also to restore energy. Adjust your physical and mental strength to optimal condition. Always tense every nerve. Not a good thing. In terms of dealing with people, I believe in silence. The power of. Only people who are hypocritical at heart will talk nonsense. Talking to reporters. The prudent businessman is tight-lipped. Success comes from listening more and talking less. A person who talks but does not act is like a garden full of weeds. Are my two favorite maxims. I'm used to listening more and talking less. And this also helps me gain a big advantage over the competition, especially in negotiations. My reticence often confuses my opponents. Random guess. And when I'm angry, I think silence is more effective in knocking down the opponent. Once a frustrated contractor broke into my office, yelling furiously at me. I bowed my head on the desk indifferently. Continue working. Until the contractor is exhausted. Just raised his head. At this time, I was leaning on the swivel chair and turning left and right. Look at each other. Asked calmly. I didn't hear clearly what you just said. Could you repeat that? At that time, the contractor was like a deflated rubber ball. I can't get the courage anymore. Everyone who comes into contact with me will have an impression on me. It's my unusual composure. I'd bet anyone, no matter what he says now, or do something intolerable, it's impossible to see that I would have the slightest impulse. You know my pulse is only 52 beats per minute, much lower than the average person. I never lose my temper with my employees, and won't yell, not to mention any dirty words, or do something uncivilized. Even if they make mistakes, they will be punished. I will also feel unbearable. Even those corrupt subordinates. I just fired him too. But it's hard to bring him to court. Besides, in terms of treating employees, I have always been very attentive. I think employees in the company, the role is very important. In the early stages of the company's development, I always personally participate in the recruitment of ordinary employees. And when the company scale expands to, the number of employees has exceeded 3,000. it was impossible for me to directly participate in recruitment. But I just need to find good people. We must find ways to recruit him under his command, even if it didn't seem necessary at the time. I especially admire those with outstanding social skills. Manager. I always thought the ability to connect with people is like coffee and sugar. It is a product that can be purchased. And the money I paid for this ability, more than you pay for anything else in the world. I also like to encourage employees. Give me suggestions or comments directly, and care about their lives. I often give those who are sick or retired employees write letters. Ask them about their situation. To say immodestly, I'm paying employees salaries and pensions. Never stingy, even generous, because of the reward I paid is higher than the average level in the same industry. For this I can proudly say, I believe my employees respect me more, willing to work hard by my side. I rarely praise them publicly for their efforts. My method is, use subtle cues to nudge employees forward. First of all, I will comprehensively and strictly test employees. And once employees gain trust, will be given great autonomy. Unless there is a serious oversight, I generally don't interfere with their work. Normally, the best way to promote employees is when you believe they have the necessary qualities and feel that they are capable of doing the job. Take them to deep water. Push into the water. Let them work on their own. Or sink to the bottom. Or swim ashore. They won't fail. In order to coordinate the work of such a large organization, I have to delegate power. Standard Oil. Part of the company's code of conduct. It is to train subordinates to do things for the company themselves. I once introduced to a new employee that someone told you the rules of working here. Not yet. That's it. Don't do the work yourself if you can let others do it. You need to find someone you can trust as soon as possible. Train him to do your job. Then do it yourself. Use your brain to think about how you can make your company make more money. Myself. It is to implement this principle personally. And it is through this method. Free yourself from the tedious daily administrative work. Get out. Spend more time and energy on macro decisions. I always think, I'm not technically an innovator. What I am responsible for, mainly to formulate the company's policies and theoretical basis. As a manager, I have to face it every day. A flood of opinions and things. And before various choices, make judgments with extraordinary reflexes. And help me make choices and judgments. I think to a large extent. It's my outstanding mathematical talent. It is by processing large amounts of data that only then can I control and manage me. The decentralized oil kingdom. I use an invisible force. Control the entire company. This power is my ledger. Started working as a bookkeeper at the age of 16. I just like numbers. Numbers also help me tremendously. Let me put complex and diverse systems reduced to a common standard. By this standard, I can measure, check the operating conditions of subsidiaries thousands of miles away. See the real situation. With this method, I promote the idea of rational management throughout the company. From the top of the company to the bottom. Cost calculation for each item. All accurate to several times after the decimal point. Although our company has achieved extraordinary results, but I don't think he's really perfected. In my opinion, every company, every factory can be endlessly improved. I have always strived to create an atmosphere of constant pursuit of perfection. The larger the company's operations, the more attention you need to pay attention to details. Although in the eyes of some people, this seems a little unreasonable. But if you save a penny in one place, could potentially save thousands across the company. Times this number. Get money. One year I visited a New York City Standard Oil Company plant. This factory cans kerosene in 5-gallon barrels, sealed and sold abroad. I observed the process of welding caps on oil drums by a machine. Then asked a resident expert. Seal an oil drum with a few drops of solder. 40 drops. The expert replied that the country should use 38 drops. No. Then try using 38 drops of Hanjatone. Then tell me the result, okay? Turn out. A small part of the oil barrel that absorbs sweat with 38 drops leaks oil. But it was sucked with 39 drops of sweat. This will not happen. Since then, 39 drops of solder became a refinery owned by Standard Oil Company. New standards implemented. And this saved drop of solder saves company $25,000 in just 1 year. There are actually many situations like this. For example, we can maintain the strength of the oil cylinder, gradually reduce the length of the barrel plate, reduce the width of the barrel ribs. But I'm not just trying to save money, just to make the company's operations reach a more perfect level. For this purpose, I insist that the company establish a solid, robust factory equipment to reduce maintenance costs. Although this will result in a higher initial cost, I also try to make full use of refined from crude oil, various ingredients. In the first 2 years of its establishment, the company mainly engaged in kerosene and brain oil. Later, in 1874, the company expanded its business scope, start producing other petroleum byproducts, dealing in paraffin wax for chewing gum, and cast petroleum asphalt. Soon the company started production again, lubricants for railways and machine shops, as well as candle fuel paints and industrial acids. This year we annexed Chase N.J. Bulow Manufacturing Company, Ltd., to enhance sales of Vaseline produced by us. It can be said that on the road of constant pursuit of perfection, we have never stopped. This will remain our perseverance from now on. And within the company, one of the goals and beliefs to be carried out to the end. In fact, everyone has a good message. That's because you can't predict how great you can become. How much love can you have? How much success can be achieved? How much potential does it have? Love you, Father. Thanks for listening to Dark Psychology World Channel. We will continue to bring you in the next issue 38 Letters from J.D. Rockefeller to his son.